Chapter 5 test. Let's go over this for those of you who need to retake it. First one said g of f of 0. So you put 0 into f. So that would be 2e to the 0. E to the 0 is 1 times 2 is 2. So this becomes g of 2. Because this would be g of 2e to the 0. And g of 2, if you put 2 into there, is 3 times 2 minus 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. Now it says g of f of x. G of f of x is 2e to the x. So we've got to put 2e to the x in for the x's. So it'd be 3 times 2e to the x minus 2. And this would be 6e to the x minus 2. H inverse. H inverse of x is the points reversed. So it'd be negative 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, negative 1. And g inverse of x, then you have to take g and swap the y and the x, so that would be x equals 3y minus 2. Add the 2, divide by 3, and we get x plus 2 divided by 3 for the inverse. G of h of x. Well, since h is only defined for certain points, we're going to have to do g of h of 1, and h of 1 is negative 1, so we're going to have g of negative 1, and g of negative 1 is 3 times negative 1 minus 2, which is minus 5. So we started with 1 and ended with 5. So the first one would be 1 goes to negative 5. Then I'll put in 2. 2 in h goes to 1, and 1 into g would be 3 times plus 1, which would be 3 minus 2, or 1. So we started with 2, it went to 1, and 1 went to 1. Then we'll start with 4. 4 in h goes to 3, so we'll have g of 3. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 2 is 7. So we started with 4 and ended with 7. And finally, we're supposed to start with negative 1. Negative 1 into h goes to 4. G of 4 is 3 times 4, 12, minus 2, 10. Graph f of x. F of x is 2e to the x. That stays all positive, so I'll put the x-axis down low here. Put the y kind of in the middle. And I'll go 1 for each square. And so now we have, oop, that was off the screen there, so now you can see it. Now I'll go 1 for each square. So e to the 0 is 1 times 2 is 2. E to the 1 is e, 2.7, times 2 is 5.4-ish. And to the second is going to be off the page. E to the minus 1 is 1 over 2.7 times 2 is about 0.9, I'm guessing, and then it's going to go down and it's going to go and that's it. And F is 1 to 1 because it passes the horizontal line test everywhere and the vertical line. And now it says find F inverse. So I'm going to switch the y and x, so it's going to be x equals 2e to the y. To solve for y, I'm going to divide by 2. And I need to get the power down, so I'm going to rewrite this as a log. And so since the base is e, I'll use natural log. To what power do I take e? The power is y. To what power do I take e to get x over 2? So F inverse of x is ln x over 2, and you could split that up using the quotient rule, ln x minus ln 2. Either of those answers would work. That's page 1.